All right, so let me give you a list of very useful and handy commands that come in that are helpful when you're in the R environment to get navigating around. Okay, one of them is mode or type of. Again, remember R is an object-oriented programming language, so it's very important to understand the class or even the type of values you have in your data structure. So use one of these commands to get a little bit more information about what data set are you actually working with. There's also the attributes. A lot of times many functions and packages that you use will store extra information as an attribute to each of the values. So it's often very helpful to see what the different attributes are assigned. Then there's also the as dot function. So this is handy in trying to convert one type of an object into another. So something that I've had to use before is, let's say you load a file into your workspace and it loads it in as a data frame, but you realize that all the values are numbers. So it's perfectly fine to convert this into a matrix. So you can use as.matrix and then give it your data frame here, the name of your data frame, and this will be your matrix. Okay, so this will basically take whatever object this is and convert it into a matrix. So obviously you can go backwards. You have a matrix, for some reason you want to add another column of different type, convert it into a data frame, and then just drop in another column into the data frame. So that one is called, as you would guess, as.data.frame. Okay. Even with numbers and characters, you can actually make it as.numeric, as.logical, as.character, so you can convert or force things to be a specific type. Some other useful functions are sample. So we'll use this in the live demo, where it basically allows you to generate random data. Okay, so you give it a set of values you want it to pick from, and you tell it how many values you want, and whether they should be repeated or not, and so on. Order will give you, it will sort the values that are there in the vector, and it will give you back the position of the values and what order they should be in. The other one, the sort, actually gives you back the value. So there's a difference, and you'll see later on why one can be more helpful than the other. Sort actually just gives you the values back. Order gives you the position of the values back. Paste, it's a great way to concatenate different object values. You can kind of take two different vectors, and if you want to paste them together, you can create new words by kind of concatenating. So it's like joining the two different strings. Print obviously prints this value to the screen. This might not seem so obvious now because we've been just typing in the name of the object for it to just print to the screen. But when you're writing a function or just kind of in your code, you want it to just spit it out, the print function works extremely well. Range will basically give you the minimum and maximum of the values. So this is a good way to just check out what kind of, well, the min and max values are in your data set. And finally, transpose basically converts or turns your matrix or data frame 90 degrees. So this works more for a matrix. It works for a data frame if your things are of the same type, and so for the matrix, but basically takes the matrix and converts it 90 degrees, so the rows become columns and the columns become rows. And we'll see later on why this command becomes super helpful.